Hello ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your boy Lith here, and today we're going to be doing a tank review for Armored Warfare. Today we're going to be covering the BMP-3M. This is a vehicle made in Russia. There were over 700 units produced, most of them primarily owned by Greece currently. Now this is a nasty tier 7 armored fighting vehicle. This thing packs a punch, and as you can see here, it has ATGMs, it has a 100mm gun that's capable of firing the frag rounds and of course the ATGMs. It's also got a 30mm autocannon, and that thing, let me tell you, tears lightly armored targets to pieces. It's quite fast. Obviously, being an AFV, it is really quick. It has that targeting capability, so you can designate a target, and obviously everybody on your team, including yourself, will be able to do more damage to said target. Again, being an AFV, it is of course very lightly armored. I think the BMP-3M is one of the heavier armed AFVs at tier 7. And it doesn't have a really high damage output, so to speak, but it's capable of dishing it out to light armored targets. With, when you start stepping it up to main battle tanks, your damage is going to drop considerably just because of all that frontal armor. As you can see here, quick rundown of the stats on the right. Average damage, and this is for the 100mm gun, firing the high explosive fragmentation rounds, is 401, 27 mils of penetration on those rounds. When you do penetrate, that 401 damage is a little bit redundant, because for me, every time I do pen a target, it seems to roll significantly higher than that. I'm assuming that's just the minimum damage. The DPM is 3,164. Reload time is 7.6. Now that is an average, again, on the 100mm gun. That is excluding the 30mm M9 cannon there. It has a base amount of hit points of 1,675. I'm trying to say 1675 there. Hull armor is 35 on the front, 20 on the sides, and 20 on the rear. Its hull composition is military aluminum. Hull modifier is 0.9 all around. The turret armor is 50 on the front, 40 on the sides, and 15 on the back. Its turret composition is of course steel, hence the thicker armor. And as you can see here, its turret has it's basically everything can pen it and the same. Max speed is 74. Let's just round that up and say 75 kilometers an hour. It gets to 0 to 32 kilometers in 2.23 seconds. Yeah, it's quite quick on the acceleration. Camouflage factors here 0.327 all around, and the view range is 515 meters. So it's got quite a good view range. I've got a few retrofits on here as well. Cannon depression is -6, -3. So it's got some good depression and elevation. Turret traverse is 55 degrees per second. You really do feel that. The accuracy I find on this vehicle is bliss. Aim time is 2.51 seconds, which is quite good for an autoloader. The only time you'll really find this cannon struggling to meet that is, of course, when you're using the autocannon and you're going full auto on that motherfucker, because you are gonna be your rounds will go everywhere. I tend to burst fire unless they're at close range. If they're at mid to long range, I will burst fire the cannon, so I'll hold it down, fire 3 to 5 shots, let it aim in again, fire 3 to 5 shots, let it aim in again, and repeat cycle. The commander I find that works best with AFVs personally is Sabrina Washington, so I've got her at my BMP-3M. The retrofits I have on are gyroscopic stabilizers Mark II. Not yet got the Mark IIIs. I'm working towards getting them. Currently grinding down the line to actually get those. And as you can see here, what those do is it gives you a 5% reload time. Well, it betters it by 5%, and your aim time is increased by 9.38%. I'm not going to run that down. What else do I got? I got that improved spoiler liner. Hull hit points improved by 7.42. Crew save is 22.5. So basically, I've got a 22% chance of my crew not getting knocked out when they get hit. I've also got an enhanced drivetrain on this thing. for better turret traverse and max speed. So this thing, being quite fast already and being able to rotate quite quickly, is able to do it a hell of a lot faster now with this thing. So what can I say overall? My experiences with the BMP line and this BMP in particular have been quite good. But hey, I'm not gonna sit here and glorify it in the garage. I want you guys to see what it's like, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw us in a PvP game, which is where you can kind of get the better feel for a vehicle. You could do it in PvE. I mean, this vehicle performs exceptionally in PvE, but it also does really damn well in PvP, and here I'm going to give you a quick showcase on that. Righty guys, here we go. We have a game. Now, as you can see, this is a replay. You know, you got to play a couple games so you can filter through which ones you think are the better displays. And this one I thought was a combination of good mechanics, good use of mechanics, and a display of firepower, this vehicle's mobility, and there is one massive derp at the end from myself that I think you guys might enjoy to see. I get a bit over ambitious, let's say, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you'll see. It's quite funny. So as you can see, we're in a tier 9 game here. Quite common stuff early on in the mornings. My apologies if I do sound a bit weird. At the moment, my voice is screwed, courtesy of having a bunged up nose and other such things, like putting on voices and failing horribly to do so. So here we go. We're going to go up north with this M8 here initially, and we're going to see if we can get some spots off. We're going to push past him when we go up this road here to the right. So the M8 Thunderbolt, that is a nasty, nasty tier 9 tank, or light tank. It's got a very high penetrating gun, and to be honest with you, I don't know of many tanks that can actually block that gun or deflect the shells from it. Armor piercing wise, you can see we're going around through these bushes, see if we can get any initial spots off. Not getting them though, so we continue pushing down the road. Just have a look towards the center. And boom, first enemy spotted. It is an LAV 600. So we fire off the main cannon there, the 100mm high explosive round slams him 430. We start taking incoming damage, so we decide to hide behind this truck until we are no longer spotted. I ping on the map to say there's an autoloader up in that direction. They're not aware yet. We spot a Challenger 2 peeking the ridgeline. We just carry on driving straight past him. And there we go, there's the autoloader, a Warrior Tier 8 armoured fighting vehicle under Shishkin. Of course, it's a British vehicle. So we start putting some shots here into the back of the Challenger, or the top of the Challenger 2's turret, penetrating his cupola for, 2 times for about 98 damage. Being quite cautious because of that autoloader who can shred us. Spotting him to make him push back a little bit. He's using good cover himself, hiding behind another mound like myself. Unfortunately, he makes the mistake of staying out in the open a little bit too long, and we managed to knock off a fair portion of his health in conjunction with, I'm assuming, one of those Abrams or the Thunderbolt put a shot into him as well. I'm not too sure who actually hit him there. Either ways, he's going to think twice about poking on that corner. So we push up to this rock formation here now, next to the carcass of our LAV. We can see over in the distance there as well that Warrior relocating. Start slamming shots into the back of this Challenger. You can see the amount of critical hits we had on him there as well. For those of you who aren't aware, the yellow damage that you do is critical, and the standard orange colored damage you do is just standard damage you're doing. So we tore that Challenger to pieces. Trying to be cautious of that tier 8, sorry, the Warrior. Trying to get shots off here on the Challenger 2, not able to penetrate his side, courtesy of that cage armor and ERA. So we pull back and wait. It's at this point that I start trying to look for the warrior again. Our team obviously pushing the other flank in quite considerably. Not sure what's going on with that T90MS up in this area here. I think he's about to go down any second now, though. With the combined firepower of the B1 Draco and the LAV-600. Possibly one of the Challenger 2s or the Arietta coming up behind him. I'm not too sure. Trying to get some shots here on that Terminator 2, but he goes down too quickly for me to do anything. This game, at this point, it's fairly safe to say, is in a bag. Now to go looking for that warrior. Now, obviously, we're going to go to the last known position he was at, which is up in this area. Just carry on, you know, I can take the hits from him. I've got more health than him, and I can shoot him. And he gets spotted down there. I don't know how he got down there, but this is where I get a little bit ambitious. And if you don't know what's coming, I'm pretty sure you can guess it. Derp. And it's at that point that the warrior gets killed by the M8 Thunderbolt. So as you can see, getting over ambitious in a tank like this is not a good idea, because you will fall to your death. This was, of course, on the new map as well. I can't remember which name eludes me. I will tell you guys now which map it was. I've not actually played on that map too much, but whenever I do play on the map, it tends to be the same sort of thing that I tend to do. Is I go one direction, and I tend to stick in that direction because it seems like the best way to go from my experience playing this BMP. As you can see, everybody's rushed the center. In the other areas, as you can see here, high wall, that's what it's called. That makes sense with all the high walls and cliffs. But yeah, that's a rough showcase on how to use this vehicle in PvP. We racked up a fairly decent result. Let's have a look. Yeah, 3.1k spotting damage. That was primarily on the LAV, the Challenger 2, and the Warrior. We did a fairly decent amount of damage ourselves. Not that many spots, but again, this vehicle, it's not so much of a scout vehicle as it is a supporting vehicle. And we got ourselves a nice amount of credits and experience on our daily double. Again, this game could have been better, but again, this was a brief example on how to use this vehicle. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more content of this type, please do leave a comment in the section below just to let me know. And if you'd like to see more of these videos again, let me know what tank you'd like to see reviewed next so I can do it. If I haven't got it, I will grind towards it. And on that note, guys, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.